Hey there.
I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out how to add the darn background.
All right.
There we go. We're officially in. I'm important. Uh, I'll position myself. I wonder is there a way I can turn it around? Is that
what you want to turn around?
the so it face reading. Well, how do you see it? Does it read
I see it the
left
way
to
it's
right?
supposed to be. Yeah, that's the problem I
Oh,
had
okay.
last time. Yeah, I see it the way it's supposed to be. That's why when we did the last video, I was like, "Oh, your business card is backward," but it wasn't.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Okay.
okay. So we're officially started. How are you?
I'm all right. It's been a
Did you
productive.
accept the record?
Yes, I did. Yes.
So you're being
Yes.
recorded. Everything was recorded.
Yes. That's great. Yeah, I just learned how to. Yes. Thanks for the disclaimer. Yeah, I read it as soon as it popped up. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, well, I guess this was just another impromptu
Yeah, it's learning experience.
hey, we just gonna start off. I've been getting a lot of responses from the last video. It was actually pretty good. I've been getting some good responses.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm
All right.
hoping.
You know what I do? I'm trying to treat this like something. So we're being recorded. We're treating this as a session where we just bring people to the table and get to understand what we're doing because this is Plurapreneur. I'm Damon the brand with Plurapreneur. I offer coaching and mentoring services. You're in my mentoring program. Introduce yourself once again.
Yes, I am the magnificent Anthony Murphy, owner and operator of
Oh,
Peermerge. We
wow.
teach
We started to
individuals.
get cocky now.
And yeah. Yes. Well, we solely uh, work with individuals to teach them how to optimize their network. And that can be done in a variety of ways, from
Yeah.
coaching to referral to ironing out goals. And I refer people to other people's networks so they can understand the importance of networking in itself.
Yeah. I like this background. So the last time we were on video, you were like, "Oh, your background is popping." And
Yeah, it was fancy. I looked like I was in somebody's basement.
right, yeah, I was like, "Oh, okay, well, it did stand out because I looked at the video and then I was like, "Oh, yeah." Well, part of the mentoring is making sure not only your business is set up, but also the branding is going magnificently. So, between that recording and this recording, I was like, "Yeah, let's get your video background going so that this just fits right into the branding strategy." Yeah. So, you like it?
Yes, absolutely. It works. It works perfectly. And I knew you were doing that too.
Yeah.
As well as the cards they match too. I don't know if you can see.
No, because yeah, you gotta, yeah, if you put it, yeah, like if you put it
Yes.
down, yeah, people can see it that way. Yeah,
Yeah, it works
yeah,
perfect. I keep one with me in my little trusty bag here.
yeah. The branding is we gotta keep it comprehensive. So that's the whole point. Hey, I guess I like to have between the sessions where we're doing mentoring, and then I'm not so focused on walking you through some objectives that we have in a mentoring session. I kind of treat this as something that everybody can learn from. And as I was thinking
Mhm.
about, well, when we get back on camera again, I was thinking maybe what you can start sharing is what do you think about some of the experience that you're having now since you're getting established? So I feel like I said a lot, so let me give people some context. Um,
Mhm.
we've had 7 sessions so far. And so we meet bi-weekly. We forgot to mention this in the last video, by the way. So
Mhm.
we meet bi-weekly and we've had um 7 sessions. So that means we're entering like month 4, right? So well, month 4 or month 5, something like that, because I think we ended up skipping a week or something like that. Now,
Mhm.
in between that time, because remember, Anthony, I want to give people context.
Yes.
Over the last few months, we went from straight up confusion to we did. I mean, I'm just
Yes.
we went from straight up confusion to you having your paperwork lined up. You got your LLC established. I'm sorry, I'm getting messages. I don't know if you can hear that.
It's fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fine.
you got your LLC set up, you got your EIN set up, you have your website set up, you have your mission, your vision set up, you have your purpose set up. Do I need like how far do I need to go
Yep.
down the checklist?
And you can have business bank account officially set up too. Yeah,
What?
where that card? Yeah, business bank account officially set up too.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, add
good,
that. Yes,
good, good, good.
yes. As a matter of
So
fact, go ahead. I'm
no, no,
listening.
no, go ahead. Go ahead. You're sharing some news
No,
that I didn't even know about. So we won't have to cover this in
yeah,
the session.
I meant to tell you. This is me and the banker. Ah, well,
Oh,
the screen's blurred. Yes.
is it on
So what I
social
plan
media?
to do? Not yet. I am content creating. What I mean, I'm getting a bunch of materials and videos, and that is my next step because I
Oh,
want
good.
to be strategically planned with the branding,
Yeah.
and that's one of our things I'm gonna cover too. Because what I don't want to do is just see. I'm accustomed to using social media for a consumer purpose, meaning just social media being what it is, not knowing that it can be a very strong platform to attract new consumers. But I want it to be done intentionally. Because
Yeah.
the only would just throw stuff up there, like and have no real purpose or context or method with it. And I want to be very guided in that process because I know the power of it.
Yeah. I see that going in a lot of different ways. Because that came up in our mentoring session that you're
Yes.
pulling all that content together. But I think that would be great, like as you pull that content together, just serving your own purpose, and even for people that you start bringing along your own journey in peer space, they can kind of see what you did and kind of follow in your footsteps. Is that kind of where your mind is going with that, or did you
Yes,
even
peer
just think that
merge.
way?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do see it that way. I think people learn the best, and I always say from a consumer standpoint, of is the example. People want to see the example. I think the process is where you connect people with. Because obviously, you can see some videos and say, and they'll say, see how I went from making $12 in 1982 to 500 million, and then they skip over the whole 20
The
years.
whole
Like,
process,
can't
yeah.
comprehend that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even understand how that even. So that's what I want to alleviate a natural process.
Oh, nice. Okay. That's good. That's good. I like that idea. But going back to the original conversation, we have gone so quickly in like those 3 months. Because I know people who say they want to start a business, and then you look at like 6 months, a year down the line, they never even started the business. Right?
Oh my goodness, I was one of them people
Yeah.
until I
Yeah.
got coaching.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And when I
Yes,
when I step in, I ain't even trying to play. But first of all, you're part of the program, and I'm not trying to waste your time. I'm not trying to
yes,
waste your money. I'm not trying to really stall anything that you have going, because I'm like, we connected for a reason, right? And so you have a purpose. I'm all about, well, start falling into your purpose. Don't stop. Let's keep going. Whatever blockers you got, we gonna have that going. But since you're moving, I feel like you're moving lightning speed, and there's something that you and I don't think we really talk about it. So I wanted to use this time to talk about a different type of
uh,
experience that you're having. And how do you feel with you moving so quickly? With you moving so quickly and moving into business, and then you dealing with like your daily life and your daily surroundings, how is that process going?
that's a very good question. So moving fast in the business and dealing with daily life, it has to be a balance. And I'm starting to find myself in this awkward spot
Yeah.
because you have a 9 to 5. Obviously, most entrepreneurs do, and you try to find that balance. Because when I stop moving, my mind's telling me there's something that you could be doing.
Mm.
And then if I lean in it too much, I find myself just moving.
Yeah.
And then I get lost a little bit, like, hold on, I was supposed to be doing this. So what I have done to make the balance adequate for my life, certain days I do certain things. Fortunately, my 9 to 5 can pours right to Peermerge. And most people don't have the flexibility. I just have that type of job where I'm basically networking all day long.
Mm.
But on the weekends, I intentionally try to keep my Saturdays free. But if they do, they're either filled with meeting the client, uh, or now I have a mentee I'm mentoring as a young kid. I'm gonna try to add that in his peer merge as well.
Okay.
Try to be intentional on my weekends.
Hmm.
But Sunday after 9 is when I cut off
Okay.
everything. So from 9 to let's say 2 p.m. is when I'm silent. I may do workout, exercise. You know, you gotta take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a balance because I've been on both ends of the spectrum,
Mm.
taking too much rest or moving too much. But you know, I think as an entrepreneur, you have to be moving 24/7.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just my opinion. Like because opportunities, they don't sit. They don't just come out of thin air. Either you have to go get them, create them, or be in a position to see them.
How are people responding around you since you're always moving?
Uh, you know, on a personal level, some people say I move too much. My response is, you don't move enough. You know, what the way I see it, David, this is my honesty, core truth. I am trying to get somewhere,
Yeah.
and I cannot get somewhere by standing, staring at the sky, hoping something happens.
Yeah.
That's not gonna work. And I never, and that's just how I am. I'm not naive either to think that success is gonna come at every turn.
Mm.
Um, but I sure step out like I want to see it, and that can manifest itself in many ways.
How do you respond when people say you're moving too much?
Um, that's a good question. The way I respond when people say I move too much, first I listen and think maybe are you? I do take consideration and because when somebody tells me that, it's usually someone in my inner circle
Yeah.
that is saying that you know my story about my recovery. They say don't put everything don't put things above your recovery, which is true,
Yeah. Okay.
which is absolutely true. So I think they're telling me in that regards. So I took a look at it and balance. It's not about doing too much. I think it's the balancing of it. Because just think if I had a girlfriend or a family or kids living with me, you know,
Mm.
it would be a different story. I would have to learn the balance, you know.
Yeah. I get it. That's why I was asking the question because you remember like I told you last time when I'm in my mentoring sessions with you, a lot of times I'm going through the motions. Like I'm walking you through situations that you're going through, but then a lot of times I'm responding back to you based on situations I've gone through. Yeah, I remember going through that phase. I remember that.
Really. Mm.
Yeah, I remember I was going through a lot of activities, running through a lot of experiences in life, and I got the same thing. I was like,
Really.
I was, people were like, "Why are you doing that? What are you doing that for?" Right? It's like they don't really understand what's going on in your mind because you're trying to just exactly like you said, I have somewhere to go is something that I'm trying to accomplish. Right.
I know
But
that's
but
right.
they just don't really understand. So I was just wondering how that process is going. It's especially since I feel like you're on an accelerated schedule. Because like remember, I didn't have, I mean, I had mentors, but not
Mhm.
mentors in this space. I had
Right.
mentors in corporate space and I had mentors who knew how to help me to solve a problem. But when it came to establishing like my freelance businesses and things of that nature, it took me longer because I had to
Okay.
apply what I was learning from my mentors in a brand new space, right? So
Mhm.
as I was going through that, I think my schedule was slower than yours, so I had more of an adjustment period. That's why I wanted to rope back around to this and understand how your um, personal relationships are going, and then how your friendships are going and things like that. So, yeah, it sounds like
That's a
you're managing them pretty well.
yes, and I mentioned I am in graduate school on top of that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
so it's what I have learned is people find time to do what they want. So
yeah.
I carve out the time. I don't feel as stressed as I used to. So my
Mm,
day starts about 4:50, every morning. Um, but it's done in sections. It's just sometimes it sounds like a lot, but it's really not. It flows completely fine.
Yeah. And then we're also starting to get to the point where now you have the business established and you can start marketing. So how
Yes.
are those conversations going as you get out there and start to market yourself?
Yes, great question. So the conversation surrounding marketing is now that I actually physically have cards with me, when I hand the card, somebody, okay, what is it that you do? And I have to explain to them what it is I do. And what I'm finding that I need to work on is sometimes it's a very broad answer. Sometimes I tell them what Peermerge is, basically what they give me. Like a guy came to me 2 weeks ago, like, hey, I want to start a nonprofit, and I want to do this, and I respond back. So, what have you done in the past? And he says nothing. It was just an idea. So it's starting from scratch, and I have to be able to explain to him if I provide my services through Peermerge, what is it that I'm going to do for him?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think I need to work on to get. Maybe if it's a pitch, or I'm trying to define the service pattern more direct because it does encompass a lot. So what I'm finally starting to see, I'm trying to put this into words. Different things that I encounter are opportunities for peer merge.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned before, there's an individual, a young man I'm mentoring. I'm having troubles in school. I met his grandmother at an event, and she's like, "Hey, I like the story. You mind helping my grandson?" So I have another friend that ran a youth program in Chicago, and I brought him on with me to mentor this young man and help him out in school. So Timmer can take on that space too. But right now, like a trial run to see how it works out with this gentleman. But
Mm.
while we're doing it, we're documenting the steps that we're doing with him so it can be replicated,
Okay.
meaning the system part.
Yeah.
So but marketing it can go so many different directions.
Okay.
But I would like to, that's a component I'm gonna definitely bring up in my coaching sessions.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Sound good.
What I yes.
No, go ahead.
What I learned and this is, I think I'm in a unique situation, as you said, because thank God that I've had people like yourself guide and encourage and tell me the pitfalls through certain stages of business. Because
Yeah.
pretty personally, I realize I don't think a lot of people have that.
Yeah.
I think some people either have, I don't know, just get out there and do it. Or like you mentioned, time or money. You can pay somebody to do it yourself. I am the person. I prefer to pay somebody to tell me and show me.
Mhm.
Uh, and maybe some people had to just do trial and error, and that's fine. Whatever way you choose to progress is up to you. But I want to have a marketing plan based on my intentions and what I can afford and within my range. I guess that's the best word I'm trying to say.
Okay. I actually think you have that. Yeah. So I think as I listen to you talk that through with me, I think that's part of us being on an accelerated schedule.
Okay.
I literally think we're going so quickly until, yeah, when we get back in your mentoring session, let's grasp on to some stuff we have defined already. Because really what I think
Okay.
is happening is we're accelerating so quickly until your mindset shift has to catch up with your accelerated schedule.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I was mentioning it took me longer, right? Because I was just like yourself. I was trying to balance career, balance life, all that good stuff. And then I didn't really have a dedicated mentor for kickstarting my business. So I had to, I mean, no kidding, like get in there and,
Mhm.
research a whole bunch of stuff and then make it happen. But I had a longer period of time to make a mindset shift. So some of the stuff that
Okay.
you're experiencing, I think is literally just because everything is just going so quickly, and here you are, you have a package business and now you're trying to wrap your mind around what that package is. I think that's really what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. It goes and so it's very broad. Um, but I think it'll narrow down over time. And just I guess it's learning. This is a big
You know
learning
what?
curve.
I actually think your scope won't narrow. I think
Mhm.
it's your process will narrow
Okay.
because you, by definition, peer merge encompasses a lot of different people walking a lot of different paths in life. So inherently, your business is very broad. But what
Okay.
you have to push through that entire process of dealing with all of the people in your circle of influence that you're creating is a unique process for peer merge. Now, I won't talk to you about that on this because this is a public
Yes.
video. I think,
That's paid
yeah, I think
information, right?
this is turning into intellectual property. But
I
just to kind of
understand.
demonstrate, some of the talking points that we get to in meetings, I think this is actually a really good conversation. What would you suggest to people just on your initial experience? I think this is the right time to ask you, by the way, because we've only been through 7 sessions and you've already done all a whole bunch of stuff. What's your advice for people who are looking to start a business?
Yeah, that's a good question. My advice for individuals looking to start a business, I would encourage them for one, write what you want to do down and get and look within your network somebody that's probably already did what you've done, currently doing it, or has accomplished what you're trying to. I solely do believe in the networking aspect. I don't believe in the walking into things alone. I would say find you a mentor, find you a coach, preferably Daymond the brand if that's your expertise, but uh, and learn about your industry. I don't think you necessarily have to be an expert, but I will encourage people to find something within your passion. I would say I don't know if you necessarily naturally good at, or maybe that's what you can figure out with your mentoring. Because if you personally ask me, I wanted to be this mogul real estate agent. That's what I wanted to be. But I
Yeah.
realized that I enjoy helping people. That's very broad. But I realized my passion and my area of expertise combined together is networking.
Oh, okay.
That's generally what I've been doing for the past 20 something years.
Mhm.
From entertainment to social service, it all encompasses networking.
All right,
So
good.
learn the business best way you can.
Okay. Okay. What's a question you want me to answer for you right now on the cuff that you think somebody would benefit from watching this video?
Oh man, that's a good question. What question I want you to answer? That's
You get a freebie. You get a
I
freebie.
know. I'm trying to think. Uh,
Consider yourself lucky, sir.
yeah. Let me see. Uh, what advice would you have for somebody for looking to in the early stages drive revenue and yes, drive revenue on a small scale?
Oh, you know what? Thank you for that question. In my mind, I think is extremely easy. However, I remember the mindset shift that I had to make for this to come to fruition. My simple answer is define what your proposal and invoice structures are. Point blank.
Mhm.
Never
Mhm.
entertain too much conversation with people without having a documented proposal or invoice ready. That's how you do it. Yeah, because I remember when
Yes.
so really really good question. And I guess I want to share this. I remember when I was just getting out there starting my business and I was telling people, oh yeah, I can develop your website, I can design your logo, I could develop your business cards. And then, you get caught up in this excitement of doing something that you
Ah,
want to do for
there you
people.
go.
And the
There you go.
mistake that I used to make was, okay, great. Let me come up with this proof and get a proof to you. And then that process didn't go so well because what I had done was I made a unstated contract with that person that I would work for them for free. And I'm
Mm,
and I'm specifically saying this in these words because I feel like you and other people listening to this video need to hear those exact words. I
yes.
had, without using words, contractually obligated myself to use hours to generate some work product for them without having
Mhm.
no invoice or no proposal in place. But the minute I turned that around, guess what happened? I started filtering.
Mm,
People started getting filtered. And then it allowed
yes.
me to use, like when somebody said, "Oh, I want to get a develop, I want you to develop a website for me. I want you to develop a logo." I was like, "Okay, great. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a proposal or
Mhm.
an invoice." And my invoices were really detailed. So, so like just to give you an example, so my proposal for website development would, I'm not going to
Yes.
take a whole bunch of time to explain this. I'm just going to say it used to say stuff like domain acquisition, server acquisition, CMS, which is content management software acquisition and overlay on the website. And those were bulleted items that were in my proposal. I much rather spend 30 to 45 minutes, tweaking my proposal to give to somebody than spending 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours for work that is unpaid for, because I would be exercising my talent and my time. I'm a creative, so obviously I'm also investing my emotional state in this, right? Because you know how creatives are.
Yes, absolutely.
You know how creatives are. Yeah, we're creative. So, I'm like, damn, I'm pouring my heart and my soul in this, and then you're not even respecting it. So, uh,
Right.
once I did that, and came up with a proposal like that, or even an invoice that said something like, I will generate a logo design based on the 30-minute conversation that we had on, TBD date, right? And the
Yes.
logo files you will get are of JPEG, you know, vector format or whatever. This is all in my invoice. See, so by the time they got something from me, they knew the service that they were paying for. So my
Yes.
question back to them is, are you going to pay for it or not? Right? I
Yes.
guarantee you're going to start driving revenue that way because it's going to allow you to understand how to invoice and bill a customer, and then also is going to have you exercise the right conversations to turn a customer into a client, right?
Yes.
So that's guaranteed. There's a guaranteed way of generating revenue. You can't go wrong.
It's a good, it's a great answer.
Yeah.
I'm thoroughly in this stage. Yeah,
Hey,
I need to get
this
my
was really
invoices.
good. I'm glad
Yes.
you asked. I'm glad you asked that question. We need to do more of these videos, Anthony. I think,
Yes.
yeah, because this is between sessions, and I think stuff like this is gonna help people to learn. And I feel like I'm only scratching the surface of unpacking your experience. And I want us to use
Yes.
this as growing experiences for you, growing experiences for me, but also growing experiences for other people who are looking at these videos. You never know, you or I may be in a position to help somebody just by watching this video. And I think we bring
You're
two
right.
very different perspectives, to everything. And I could tell you're just like me, you're motivated to get out there in the world and make some changes. So let's do some more of these videos.
Absolutely. I'm down.
All right. Well, I'm gonna wrap it right there. So and then we just gonna
Good.
when we gonna put another one on the schedule.
Yes. I've seen the reviews from the first one. I hope they have the same. Keep it going.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. All right. Well, take care.
All right.